Hi, and welcome to the second installment of Fintech First. I am once again your host, Anthony Perozzi. I recently published a poll on LinkedIn asking you, my audience, what finance and accounting process area is most impactful to your organization's bottom line. While order to cash came out on top, both procure to pay and record to report also received significant support. As a result, this informative podcast series will focus on bite-sizing each of these process areas, which I also refer to as the finance transformation triangle, by illustrating key concepts that drive both efficiency and profitability. Every month, I'll cover a key concept corresponding to one of these areas for your consumption. Q2 will focus on procure-to-pay concepts, while Q3 and Q4 will focus on order to cash and record to report, respectively. Additionally, there will be a weekly supplemental podcast covering the hottest product trends in the fintech space and how they may be impacting your organization. The calendar for both series will be published on my company's LinkedIn page as well as company website for future reference, so you can tune in when it's most convenient. Now, let's continue with today's topic, which will focus on what I call the procurement quadrant. This is a proprietary reference tool I've developed to illustrate how spend management and procurement organizational models intersect. Now, let's take a closer look by zooming in on the visual. There are two axes representing this model. The vertical one represents the degree of centralization in the organization's purchasing department. The horizontal axis depicts the continuum of spend management, or in other words, how much of an organization's external spend is managed by controlled budgets, over here on the far right, versus maverick or unmanaged spend, here on the far left. Finally, each cross-section of the quadrant represents a unique company persona and its corresponding behavior. We will look briefly at each one in a counterclockwise fashion, starting with the top left. Here we have the Buyers Club. This persona is analogous to the notion of the Old Boys Club, where a handful of decision makers lock themselves in a boardroom and make all the decisions without adhering to any kind of budgeting or spend compliance. This is typical of some well-established managed healthcare organizations where budgets are not really a factor in spend management. The bottom left, well, the name pretty much says it all. In essence, anybody in the organization can raise a requisition to buy office supplies, get it approved quickly, and purchase orders are not actively established or managed. Reporting is usually a big mess, and budgeting is out of control, not the quadrant your company wants to be in. Over here in the bottom right, this persona is referred to as the purchasing democracy. And this is because purchasing rights and decision-making power are given to virtually all levels of the organization. And like any good political system, there are rules around how spend is monitored and approved. Finally, at the top right, this is really the place to be. Fully managed spend controls and a centralized team that can negotiate favorable vendor relationships and pricing. What more is there to say? Transactional spend reporting and budgeting are a breeze if your company sits in this quadrant. Which of these four personas most closely resembles your organization? No matter what the answer is, FT2OM specializes in identifying procure-to-pay bottlenecks and inefficiencies, which may adversely impact key performance indicators and other essential financial health metrics. Please find us at www.ft2om.com or on Instagram and Facebook to get an understanding of our full service offerings. For my next episode, please tune in as I break down managed versus unmanaged spend and their organizational impacts.